let you know a little bit about my first experience with trying to get that first job. So I decided I was going to be a speaker. I had my message refined. I knew what I wanted to talk about, why I wanted to talk about it, who I wanted to talk to. I was ready to go. I had my presentation down pat. I had to make cold calls. And when you're doing this, cold calls are the worst thing. You really never want to have to make cold calls. You want to be able to work the network, work the web, as it were. Talk to somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who can get you the gig. Even before you start out with the lions and tigers and bears and on wheels. Well, I'm going to add that rotary, lions and tigers and bears on wheels. I had none of that. So I had to make cold calls. I wanted to make my very first cold call non-stressful as possible. I wanted it to be relaxing, no pressure whatsoever. If they said no, fantastic, have a nice day, no worries. So I called American Furniture Warehouse. Found their number, picked up the phone, and on the other end was a sweet voice. Thank you for calling American Furniture Warehouse. This is Stephanie. How can I help you today? You know how in your mind you get the image of the person you're talking to. And I got the image of a 25-year-old, nice, lady with her makeup is perfect. She spent time on her hair, her nails are manicured. She spent time on her dress, and she looks professional. And everybody who walks in the door gets this nice, big, toothy, white smile. Can I ask what this is about? Well, Stephanie, as I said, my name is Dylan Counts. I'm a corporate speaker, trainer, and hypnotist. You know how you're talking to somebody and you can just feel on the other side of the line. No video, no nothing. You just know you've lost them. You can see the change. I'm sorry, we don't have those. Goodbye. I could see it on her face. I hit every wrong thing you're supposed to do with that call. I couldn't get past the gatekeeper. The people I had called had no use for my service. I had fumbled it. Ahs, had no clue. Even though I'd written out my little spiel, couldn't follow it because my brain shut down. This was a no pressure call. I had no intention of this being a yes. But when she hung up the phone, it hit. It hit right there. Oh, crap. I had been rejected. I had just gotten the first major rejection of my professional career. And me being me and what I do, I focus on what's going on in here. I'm always paying attention to what's going on in here. Watching from the observer, what's triggering my reactions, what's causing my thoughts. And I noticed a few things. I felt pain. I felt discomfort. I was sad. I was angry. And all these thoughts flitted by in half a second. I had been rejected. Now let me go over just for a couple minutes what rejection actually is and what it does. We are built with an almost instinctual level of the fear of rejection. The fear and pain of rejection is built into us on an instinctual communal level. Rejection is actually a physical sensation. The word no is painful, emotionally and physically. And when you have to do it over and over and over again, especially if you're becoming a speaker, in 100 phone calls, I may get a maybe. 99 no's. Everything from, oh, I'm sorry, just not right now, to, there's my number. All that no starts to create what I call negative layering. No on top of no on top of no. If you sat and scraped with sandpaper your palm, it starts to really hurt after a while, then you kind of get desensitized, then it really starts to hurt. Damage occurs, scar tissue occurs. Same thing in here. Every single no, every single rejection causes scar tissue, causes damage. However, the nice thing is you can reverse this. You can fight it. You don't have to be stuck with it. And I'm going to give you 2 sentences that actually give you the 5 tips to getting rid of the effects of no. These 5 steps. Be aware. They're saying no to the product. It's not just now. Make it a game and revel in the achievements. Okay? 2 sentences. Be aware of your product now. Let the game be an achievement. Be aware of your product now. Let the game be an achievement. First step, be aware. First step to solving any problem is being aware of it. Be aware of the thoughts that go on in your head. Be aware of your reactions. When somebody says this to you, what does it make you feel? When you're aware of your reactions, you know what's going to happen. Now you can do this with documentation. You can write out, this just happened. After every phone call, after every no, this person said this, I feel this way. Second part, be aware of your product. They are not saying no to you. They are saying no to your product. She wasn't rejecting Dylan Counts. She was rejecting the speaker, the trainer, the hypnotist. She knew enough about speakers, she knew enough about trainers, she knew enough about the hypnotist that it was something that probably wouldn't interest her company, or she'd been told to shut out. It's her job as a gatekeeper. She was rejecting the product. It wasn't personal. She was not personally attacking me. Every phone call you make that you get a no, remember, it's not a personal attack. It may seem that way. And if you keep in mind that it's a personal attack, every time somebody says no to you, it's going to hit that communal feeling. You are going to feel personally rejected from the group. Keep in mind, it's not personal, it's the product. Point number 3. Now. No now does not mean no later. A lot of people who are hiring speakers need a speaker at a certain time. A couple months ago, I was calling and making a big sales push to the NAHB, the National Association of Home Builders. I got a lot of, I'm sorry, we're just not hiring, or we're just not planning events right now. We're at the beginning of our year, we're cycling officers, just don't need it right now. September, October, I made the same calls. Got a lot more yeses and a lot more maybes. But not if you take the no now as no forever, which it's really not. It really is not. When you're making your calls again and again and again and again, remember, be aware of your product now. Those 3 things. That's the first stages. Now we get into what a lot of people who are in the marketing business know as a tactic from Zig Ziglar. Show of hands, Zig. Yeah. Probably the most notable name in marketing. He's got more books than I've got hairs on my... Well, okay, so he's got a lot of books. And one of his biggest tactics was to make it a game. But I worked with a company last year that actually had no bingo. They had a big board that had all the different types of no that their employees had gotten and their name. What they do is every time they get a rejection, every time they get a different type of no, They go and put it on the board. And the first person to get bingo wins some prize. But they've made it a game. They've made it fun. It's because they've made it office-wide, and they've made it a game. They've made it an achievement. So now we come to the last step. Make the game an achievement. A friend of mine drives for Lyft. She rents a car through Lyft, and it's $208 a week to rent a car through Lyft. She does this full time. She doesn't have to worry about it. Recently, Lyft did a thing where if you get 70 rides a week, they will pay the rental for you. Do you think she was excited about this? Not a chance in hell. She's no longer thinking, I made $300 this week or in these last couple of days. She's thinking, I still have to get 40 more rides. She's focusing on the negative. A lot of people who make calls like this, they set themselves a goal. I'm going to make 50 calls in an hour. Then they only make 30 because they've talked to a couple people along the line. And they think, crap, I didn't make that 50. You think they feel great for making the 30? Mm-mm. They feel bad because they didn't make the 50. She no longer worries about making the 70 anymore. She's gone back to the achievement. I've made 450 in the last 3 days. And guess what happened? She makes that 70 every week. No worries. She honors the achievement. She doesn't focus on the negative. She honors the achievement. This is rejecting rejection. This is combating the effects, the negative layering, wiping out the negative layering. But remember these 5 steps. And every time you make a call, it's not going to take you away from you. You're going to focus on what you're doing great, not on what you're doing negatively. So, let's run through it one more time. Who can remember it? Fantastic. Guys, thank you for listening to me. Thank you for your time, and have a great night.